So hello everyone, I'm Matthew, and today I'll be giving a brief introduction to birding. So for today's talk, rather than the traditional the speaker speaking, let's have a more interactive session. So if you have any questions, just ask them. And now let's start with what is birding. So birding is simply observing the birds, just watching them or listening to their calls, and you'll make notes of their behavior or how they appear, everything. And you can in earlier days, people used to since they couldn't take images of the birds, they used to draw the picture of the bird in their general habitat and write some notes when they saw it, where they saw it, what was the bird doing, things like this. But nowadays, since we have access to cameras and everything, people just take the pictures and upload it in different databases. Now, why should we do birding? Do you guys feel like we should do birding or any reasons? Is it important?
How the number is increasing or decreasing, so that we can observe and analyze how the climate change and other factors affect their behavior.
Yeah, true. That's basically I have to say. And birding is actually also stress relieving for us, you going out into the nature and trying to find out what the birds are doing and how many birds are there. And I'm sure that you might have seen this bird in the poster we created for the GBBC. Anybody knows what's the name of this bird? Indian Oorna. Okay. And are you guys aware that each state has a state bird of its own? So do you know which roller is the state bird of which state? Okay. Who is from Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, or Karnataka? Anybody from these places? So we have 4 people. Okay. So the Indian roller is a state bird of 4 states also. So Karnataka, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana. And are you guys aware that the population of this Indian roller, it is decreasing very fast? So I am sure that you might have heard about the drastic population decline in vultures. I'm pretty sure that you might have learned it in school, due to drug that was we use for cattle called diclofenac. The population of the vultures plummeted in the 1980s and 1990s. So observing birds is important because the birds, they act as a barometer. So barometer, you measure the pressure of the atmospheric pressure. Similar to that, these birds act as barometers for our environment. So if there is any change that is happening in the environment, you can observe it through studying birds. And next, anybody have any idea what is citizen science? I know the answers are in the slides, but anything other than that?
Random people who are not associated help them to gather more.
So whenever we need to collect any data, especially from if you want to observe birds or animals, it's really hard because just think about it. A researcher going out into the field trying to learn about bird populations and everything. Sometimes the researchers won't be able to even see the birds in the field. So it's really luck dependent, I would say, like finding birds and animals. So like getting help from the citizens, that will be really helpful, because then we will be able to get a lot of data than what was possible for a single researcher to collect it from the field. And for example, I'll play a video right now. So this map here shows like the how the population varies in North America and South America of the barn swallow. So it's seasonal migration. So tracking these kinds of large population will be difficult for a few number of researchers to do. That is why we need more people to do it. And it's also like cost efficient. And people do these things like voluntarily. Like we won't get any monetary benefit or anything. So because of that, it's cost efficient. And it also helps to increase public awareness. Like people are like the common people, they are getting involved with data collection and science projects, and this will create awareness in them. Yeah. Yeah, that's human. Now, what is this GBBC and CBC? Any idea? So we are organizing all these bird works because of this event. So GBBC is a Great Backyard Bird Count. So it is organized by Cornell University. And CBC, or Campus Bird Count, it's a sub-event of this GBBC. And this CBC is important because these campuses, like educational institution and other workplaces, like they sometimes act as the last stronghold for biodiversity in urban areas. And it's a 4-day worldwide event, and this event, it actually creates a competitive spirit in people. So during these events, like they'll be putting real-time data of what we are collecting, and they will put it as countries and different states. So people will be interested to like topic. And this is from the second day of GBBC this year. So India is currently in second position with 894 species, and on top it's Colombia. And collecting these kinds of data in a really short span of time, it's really important. Because since this is a worldwide event, you'll get a lot of coverage from different places. And since it's a short time, it will give you the snapshot of the population. Otherwise, like if you are doing trying to find out the population from, say, like maybe in this month you'll do in this country, and maybe next month you'll do it in another country, that won't give you like good estimates of how much population is there, because birds do migrate between them. Now I would like to like suggest some common resources that we use. One is the foremost one is field guides. So field guides are like books or other online resources, like where you will have the pictures of the birds and the description. So one of the best field guides I have gone through is Birds of the Indian Subcontinent by Tim Inskip. And in the book, like you will get to see like different morphs of the same bird. So this is actually the same species of bird, but it will have different morphs in them. So you can see that there is a white morph, then there is a brown morph, and these are present in the male species, male of the male birds, and the female it looks like this. And for submitting like the observations you are noting, there is a database called eBird, and in that you can put what number of species you have seen and how much individuals were there. And Merlin, it's a app, and it has like good number of bird images, bird calls, and also it will show the range of the birds, like in which areas they are seen. And coming to our campus diversity, we have till now we have found like 120 species of birds, and out of which 88 are resident species, and 26 are winter migrants, and 4 are summer migrants, and 2 are passage visitors. So passage visitor means that like the bird is actually not migrating to here, but it's going to some other place, but in between it will stop in some places as a pet stop. Transit, yeah. And even though we have 88, like we have put like 88 species of resident birds, like at a time you won't be able to see, I think, more than 50, because there will be seasonal small migrations also. So this one we have put in respect to Odisha. Like these birds are found in like Odisha like throughout the year, but inside our canvas, like some birds will be more abundant in some seasons. For example, in the monsoon season, a lot of the watered birds, they come to our canvas. But in other seasons, they won't be here because they don't have the habitat that is suitable for them. And now I will show you some campus birds that is present here, and how to identify if they have different modes, or how to identify from like very similar looking species. And before that, like these are some of the parts we look in a bird to identify them. So most importantly, so this portion above the tail, it's called the rump, and rump is there. Then above the head, if it has like a triangular shape, it's like a crest, and we have like behind the head, near to the neck, that portion we call it as a nape. Then you will look for beak shape, and yeah, mainly we look for these things. And also in the naming, you can find like some birds are actually named according to that. For example, there is a white-rumped munia. So white-rumped munia means that it will have a white patch of color on its rump. Now let's go to our campus species. So in our campus, we have 3 species of owls, and we have first here the Indian Scops owl. So this owl, like you'll be able to identify it very easily because it has this ear-like structures on its head. And I would actually play the call also. So these night birds, like rather than seeing them, it's more easier to hear these birds. The call right now. So have anybody heard this sound before? Okay. So yeah, next time you should pay more attention. At night time, like late in the evening, you'll usually hear this call. And next we have the barn owl. So for this barn owl, it's the largest owl that is found in our campus. And one of the most distinguishing feature is that they will have a heart shape on their head. So if you look like it, it's close, like you can see it's like a heart shape on it. And this barn owl, it's related with lots of mythologies and dark magic and everything. So these owl species, they are usually like trafficked a lot for different purposes. And next, before that, I'll play the call of the barn owl also. we actually roost in the physics department. So at night time, if you stay there, you can actually hear its call. It has a screeching kind of sound. Anybody heard this call? So near the physics building and also near the B-type quarters, like they will roost there. So in the evening, if you go there, you can see them sitting on the some of the holes there and on the shade. And next we have the spotted owlet, like a smaller owlet compared to the other. And you can see that there are two owls. One is actually sitting inside this. So during the daytime, they'll be roosting in like small crevices or small trees. And I'll play the call of this spotted owlet. It's a much more interesting call. So I heard this call like when I first came to the campus. I thought it was like a toy gun making a sound or something. This is the sound. Sounds like a monkey. So you can hear the spotted owlet call like usually early in the evening, like 7, 8. So this is the sound. I thought it was like a toy gun or something. We are talking about now. We have cattle egrets, and these cattle egrets, these are like birds with really long legs, and you can see them usually walking in grass, or like if there is like a JCB working somewhere, you can see that these birds will actually follow that. It is because that since the JCB or like something bigger is moving, the insects in that place, they will get disturbed and they will fly. So these cattle egrets, then it can easily catch the insects. And the reason they are called cattle egrets is that like if you go to a paddy field or something, there will be cattle, right? And you can almost always see that there will be a like cattle egret following it. So it is actually following it to catch insects. And another thing to note here is that this cattle egret, it will have different plumages in different seasons. So in the breeding plumage, they will have a orangish brownish color on their head, but in the non-breeding plumage, you will see that they will be pure white in color. Next, we'll go to pond heron. Pond herons look similar to cattle egrets, and these pond herons, you will see them more in wetlands, and they'll be there to catch fish. And in pond herons also, this is how the adult will look like, and this long feather behind its head, like you will notice it more in their breeding season. And the immature one, it looks like very plain colored, like brown and white. And next we have oriental magpie robin. It's not very common in our campus, but if you go towards the sewage treatment plant, that road, along the boundary you will see this bird. And in these birds, like you can distinguish the male and female by looking at their plumage. The female will be more grey in color, grey and dull in color, but the male, they will be like very jet black in color, very close. And in many of the species, the immature will actually like look similar to the females, because females and juveniles, they like females generally need need to remain like hidden from predators, like since they will be laying eggs. But male birds, they will be trying to like attract females, so they need to display themselves. That is why usually the males are more colorful and the females are more duller. And next we have a very similar looking bird. This is called Indian robin. But you can see distinguish these birds by the lack of white in this Indian robin. So this magpie robin, it will have a white belly, but Indian robin, it wouldn't have that. And you can also see that. So this portion below the tail, it's actually called a vent, and the vent in Indian robin, it's red in color. And the female, it will be more brownish in color, brownish and more uniform in color. But the male birds will be more blackish and glossy. Next, we have the cowcul. This cowcul, it's a bigger bird, like a little bit more bigger than the crows. You can distinguish it based on the chestnut colored wings it has. They have chestnut colored wings and they have really bright red eyes. But the immature ones or the juveniles, they will have like blackish eye color. Then you have the Asian quail. So because of their difference in appearance, like people usually think they are two species and they have two different names for it. But this is actually the same species, and this is the male Asian quail and this is the female. And the immature will also look similar to the female. These are like in size wise, it's more similar to crow. And then we have common hawk cuckoo. Have anybody seen this bird before? No. But I'll play its call. I'm pretty sure everybody would have heard its call. It has another name. It's also called brain fever bird. So actually, Salim Ali gave this bird the brain fever bird because like it calls for a long time at night, like non-stop. I've heard it, right? Yeah. And this is also a resident bird, but you would notice that you won't be able to hear its call. Usually it calls during its breeding season. And usually at night when there is a full moon, I think. And next we have a monitor flycatcher. So this is a winter migrant, and it's also a rare bird. You will see this bird more like if you go to Oorna, there it has a good habitat. But it has like you should actually see the bird. It has really iridescent colors on them. The male will be more iridescent, but the female will be more duller. So you can distinguish the male and female based on that. And next we have the paradise flycatcher. It's also called Nagmohan. And these birds, the male of these birds, they will have a long ribbon-like tail, and the female, it will lack the ribbon-like tail. And you can see that in these birds, like there are two different modes in males. One is the one with white belly and chestnut colored wings and tail, and the other one is white color, fully white. And these are also winter birds. And next we have bee eaters. These birds are called bee eaters because their diet mainly consists of insects and a lot of bees, of course. And we have two species of bee eater. One is the blue-tailed bee eater. You can see that at the backside of its tail, it's blue in color. And the adult will have like a long needle-like feather on its tail, but the mature one, it will lack the needle-like tail. And we have another very similar species. It's called green bee eater. So for this green bee eater, it will lack the bluish color behind its tail. But if you look at the throat portion of this green bee eater, you can see it's green in color. But in blue-tailed bee eater, it's red in color. And we have actually two species of crow in our campus. So, were you guys aware that we had different species of crows? So, we have large-billed crow in the campus, and they are more jet black in color, closely. And then we have the common house crow. The house crow, it will have ashy color near its head and near its bill. But the large-billed crow, it will be more jet black and uniform in color. Next, we have an interesting bird. It's called the black-winged kite, and it has a really interesting behavior. So the black-winged kite is like a smaller bird, smaller than a crow, looks more similar to falcon sensors. And these birds, especially for hunting, they tend to hover a lot. So they will stay in one place and flap their wings. They are actually trying to find, locate their prey. Now, we look at bulbuls. So, bulbuls, we have three species of bulbuls. We have the red-banded bulbul, we have the whiskered bulbul, and we have the white bulbul. So, for the red-banded bulbul, you can see that it has a red colored band. So, that's its identifying feature. And this red-banded bulbul and whiskered bulbul, sometimes people get confused because of their similarity in color and their shape. But in whiskered bulbul, you can see that from their shape, they have a more prominent crest on their head. So it's more pointy on the head. But in the red-banded bulbul, it's not that pointy. And in the red whiskered bulbul, you can see that near its face, it has like a red and white patch. And in the red whiskered bulbul juvenile, they will lack the red patch on their face. Only the adults will have it. And next we have a little bit more uncommon bulbul. It's called the white-throated bulbul. And this bird you will see more towards the sewage treatment plant side. We go to parakeets. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will call it a parrot when you see them. But actually, we only have one parrot in India. The others are actually parakeets. So we have the Alexandrian parakeet, and this is like this is really big in size. And between Alexandrian parakeet and roasting parakeet, you can distinguish them, one based on their size, and the other next thing is like if you look at their wings, you can see that in these Alexandrian parakeets they will have a red patch, but in the roasting parakeets it will lack the red patch. And in both the species, you can see that there is a ring around their neck, and only the males will have this ring-like structure, and the females will lack it. Then we have another interesting bird. It's called the red avidavid. They are like tiny, smaller than sparrow-sized birds, and these birds, you can. One interesting feature is that during the non-breeding season, they will look like this. But during the breeding season, the males will change their color to this bright red color. And these birds, they tend to travel in high numbers. So you can see them in like 50s, 100s, and they'll be feeding on a type of grass called foxtail grass. It's called foxtail grass because their flowers that bunch, it looks like a tail. And next we have the kingfisher. So we have 3 species of kingfishers. And the first one I would say is common kingfisher, but this is actually a really uncommon kingfisher. They are called common because if you look at their distribution, this common kingfisher will will be present in more wider areas. So they are found in Africa, Asia, Europe. But the other species, they will be more present towards the Indian subcontinent. And this common kingfisher, I am pretty sure everybody has seen the kingfisher bottle, right? So common kingfisher is the no-go. And next we have the white-throated kingfisher. So between these kingfishers, the white-throated kingfisher is the bigger one, and as the name suggests, it will have a white throat on it. And next we have the pied kingfisher. So this pied kingfisher, it's more black and white in color, and it's a little bit smaller than the white-throated kingfisher. But this common kingfisher, it will be very tiny in size. It will be like similar to size in house sparrows. And next, we'll talk about some ground nesting birds. So there are some group of birds, and as the term suggests, they make nests on the ground. So some species are lapwings, Indian titmi, and grey francolin. And this is how their nest will look like. So these ground nesting birds, they don't make nest in the traditional sense by like putting sticks and like other materials together. They will just make a scrape on the ground, and then they will just lay the eggs, and then they will just incubate it. They won't do anything. And these ground nesting birds, they have a lot of interesting behaviors. For example, since it's nesting on the ground, like during the daytime, the surrounding it's very hot, right? So to cool down the eggs, what they do is like the parent birds, they will go to a water body, then they will dip themselves in the water, and they will come back and sit on the eggs. So when the water evaporates, it cools down the eggs. And we have this grey francolin, and I'll play its call. This is also another very famous bird. Pretty sure everybody will might have heard its call. it's called the NISER. So usually in the morning time and evening time, just before they roost, they call. And another interesting fact is that you can always see this gray francolin in like pair. So if you see one bird like hiding somewhere, you can be sure that there will be another bird hiding just near it. And these birds, like, they are really hard to spot. So like what they do is, like, if they see some threat, they will like move to a grass or some other substrate, and they will just sit tight there. They won't move. So when the predator comes, or like the human goes near it, like they won't see the bird, but they will only see the bird when the bird will like suddenly fly from under his foot. And next we have barred button quails and king quail. And all these birds, grey francolin, button quail, and king quail, they are also ground nesting birds, and they tend to spend a lot of time on the ground itself. They don't fly that much. They are like chickens. So we have barred button quail. It's a rare resident bird of our campus, and they do nest inside the campus also. So when they nest, they will go to like a plant or some other, inside some other vegetation, and make their nest. And in this bird, interesting feature is that the females of this bird are more colorful than the adult males. And what they do is that the females will actually mate with the adult bird and lay their eggs, and then just leave. After that, only the adult bird will take care of the nest. The female will go and try to look for a new mate and go like that. And I'll play this one's call also. It's a really interesting call. For me, it reminds me of a motorbike sound. If you go towards the cricket ground near where there is a lot of grass, you will tend to hear this sound a lot. And next we have a king quail. This king quail, I would say, is like one of the rarest birds we have found in our campus here. So this one, it was actually seen in Odisha after 50 years. The last sighting of this bird was in like 1970s by I think what the name? Yeah. I think by Tim Inskip itself, like the person who wrote the field guide, who made the field guide birds of the Indian subcontinent. He came to Odisha and he saw it. So this bird, it was seen only once in our campus. It was seen in the cricket ground, and there used to be a lot more vegetation on its side, but that area got cleared now because of construction. So we don't know what happened to these birds. And now some points to I would like to say some points, like when you do birding. One is that when you go for birding, like, you should always wear plain colored clothes, not like this. So this is me. I went for a birding and here was like bright blue color t-shirt. So I was expecting that like this is actually in Srinagar. So I thought we would just see water birds there in a board. But the thing was that we went to an island to see birds. And because of this color, the birds will get disturbed fast and they will fly. You should wear plain colored clothes, so that will allow you to go closer to the bird and observe it better. And another thing you should note is that like you should always be maintain silence like when you go for birding, and it's better like if you don't take a big group for birding. Maybe like 4 or 5 is the max. After that, there will be a lot of noise like when you are walking and talking with each other that can disturb the birds and you won't be able to see the birds. Then another thing is to notice like you have to move very slowly. Like try to keep the noise low as possible. And the best time to observe bird is like early mornings or evenings. And you should not do any. So fishing here is that means that you should not put any bait or play any kind of like playback calls of the bird, like to attract the bird or to bring it out of its habitat. So, like I have seen, like many people would intentionally play the call of the bird, like when they go for birding, and try to find the bird just like that. But you shouldn't do it. It's actually detrimental to the bird because birds actually communicate through their calls, right? So when you play the call, like say you actually play a mate attracting call, and suppose another bird comes looking for a mate and it doesn't find it, then next time when an actual bird comes and makes the call, the bird might not respond to it. So that's there. And playing some calls are like territorial calls. So if you play it, it will stress out the birds more. It will actually like trying to find food for its chicks. It will come to try to find the source of the call to protect its territory. So those are the few things. And next thing is that you should always remember to like share your checklist with other people. Like this birding, it shouldn't like just for your own personal satisfaction. You should actually contribute your data for research projects and other things. And this eBird, it's like a good database because using the data you submit in eBird, then for surveys conducted by the forest department, they can look at your profile in these databases, and then they will choose people based on that.